fast you were going?
What? How fast you were going?
I don't know. 10?
8.
Be advised, this is an explicit podcast. If you're easily offended, get your panties twisted into a knot. Leave now. Run in your safe space. Get your little cloth for your tears. All the opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and his guest and do not reflect the opinions of any local or government agency. Welcome to another episode of MOTORCOP Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Iceman. Let's get the housekeeping out the way. We got a guest. Go like and subscribe if you happen to come watch the live videos on Wednesdays. Sometimes I pop an extra one up. Go like and subscribe. Hit the little bells so you know when I go live. If you're listening on audio, if you're on Apple, go write a 5-star review. I'll shout it out. If you're on Spotify, I don't think you can write one, but give us a 5-star anyway. Share it with your friends. Share it with all the people you don't like, your enemies, especially your enemies. Share it with them. Might teach them something. Help us get out there and get bigger. Bigger I get, the more shit I'll put out. So if we got that out the way, we're going to introduce Dan. I'm not gonna, he can say his last name if he wants to. It's up to him. That's Dan, and he is the owner and curator of Burley Boards. He likes playing with hardwood. So, welcome to the podcast, Dan.
Thanks, Iceman. It's good to be with you.
He is I don't like to say that word fan. He is a loyal listener. I consider him a member of the clubhouse. He listens to everything. He's active on all the other stuff and everything else. So, and he wanted to come on and ask some questions, just have a conversation, and why not? So here he is.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just had a few questions I wanted to run past you, and I've heard the other couple episodes of the interviews, and I listen to a lot of different podcasts throughout my day, and I listen to a couple of other police podcasts, and I don't know, I just like some of the questions. I love hearing the stories, but I've always got a twisted way of thinking sometimes, and I just had a few questions that I've never heard anyone ask, and I thought it would be kind of cool to hear your answers.
Okay, well, hit me with them, I guess. I do my best.
All right.
As long as I'm not going to incriminate myself.
So the first one is a little bit of a scenario I want to set up for you. Let's say you're in a car with the rookie, right? It's his first day, first week on the job. You're doing FTO. So you put him in the car, you buckle him in, you hand him your coffee, you get him all nice and settled. What's the first?
Do I have the little mirror so I can see him in the back seat to make sure he's okay back there?
Yeah,
it sounds like
a little passy.
Sounds like I'm a little bit like a kid.
Well, that's exactly. I mean, you got to treat them like kids sometimes, right?
I mean, I am older now.
Right, exactly. So you're like the gruff old daddy. You hand him your cup of coffee and say, "Boy, don't you spill that." And what piece of advice do you give rookies as an FTO? I know you don't do that much anymore, but what would you give?
It's kind of hard to do it on a motorcycle. Well, the last guy I did do a lot of FTO with was he's been on the podcast, was the Moose Knuckle. He's still going strong. I mean, he's still doing. He's still married to the woman that I married him to, that I did the ceremony. Knock on some wood there. Yes. Back in the day, I guess when I started training stuff, I try to. I'm a hands-on person. Hopefully you get a whole bunch of calls or whatever. And his first day out, I'd be like, look, if we get any type of call, I'm going to handle it. You stand there, you listen and watch. If we get an alarm, I've had them before. I know I'm getting off subject. Get a house alarm or open house. I had one time look at me and they kind of like, because we get there and the door was ajar. I'm like, all right, look, we're going to go in, we're going to do this, and we do that. And they look at me and I said, no, you're going to go first. I'm going to be right behind you. And they're like looking at me like, what? Like, no. I said, let me explain to you. I'm not telling you to go first because I'm scared. I said, well, I am scared. I'm scared that you're going to shoot me in the fucking back if you're behind me. I don't know how your weapon retention is. And I'm like, that's why you're going in first. not because I'm scared. I'm scared that you're going to shoot me in the back. So, but they'll look at you. My main thing I tell any person that wants to be in law enforcement. I said this on. I know you listen to Steve Gould, which is a great guy and things police see over there. I still listen to him too. I was a guest on his podcast. I think that's where you actually heard me the first time.
That is.
And but like I said over there, my main thing that I would tell anybody, rookie anybody, is don't ever lie. Don't ever lie. Always tell the truth. Because I don't care how long you're in law enforcement. You could be the nicest guy in the world, which I'm not. You're going to get called on a carpet. You can't make everybody happy, or you can be very nice to somebody and they get pissed off because you write a ticket and call in a lie on you. You can still get called in on it. Just don't lie about it. I've been called in.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've been called in. In my old department, I had my own file cabinet, okay? Because I started when I was 24 years old, and I had a mouth on me. Well, I still have a mouth on me. It's just a more educated mouth. Before then, I was just stupid. But just always tell the truth. And I told the Moose Knuckle, I'm like, look, just always tell the truth. Don't lie, and especially if you're on calls. If you go to a call and you say you're going to do something, you better do it. Don't just sit there and you use the threat. Well, if you don't do this, if you don't stop doing this, I'm going to arrest you. And then they do it again and you don't arrest them. You done lost your credibility with that person. So don't say you tell somebody you're going to put them in jail and them do something and not put them in jail. So you better make sure it's actually against the law before you just start threatening people. That's it. It's like if you have your taser out and, you got your taser trained on somebody. It's like, hey, if you take one more step towards me, I'm going to tase you. And they take a step towards you and you don't freaking let them ride the lightning, you done lost your credibility. Just don't lie, especially in administration. Like I said, I've been on the carpet numerous times. I've been suspended numerous times. Never been fired, but thought a few times I might be. But I've been suspended, from work and stuff like that. But I never lied. When I came to this new agency I'm with now, of course, sheriffs talk. All these agencies talk. PD, sheriffs, they all talk together. So I knew when I went over and applied that this sheriff was going to call my old sheriff. And that was one of because the sheriff I'm working for now told me what the other one told me. He's like, that was one of the first things he said. He said, I won't say my name. I got to catch myself sometimes. So I'm glad I've been doing this for a while, so I don't have to edit it. He said one thing about the Iceman, he's like, he might ruffle some feathers every now and then because I'm rough around the edges. I'm not one of those, polished up, cops that, the super articulate. Anybody listens to me now, I'm not super articulate. But the sheriff did tell me, he says, he will never lie to you. If you call him and ask him something, he will. He told him that. Another sheriff told me, he's like, you do your job, you got everybody's back, and that you don't lie. I'm like, no, I don't lie. If I'm going to get suspended, I'm going to get suspended. But don't come at me with something I didn't do because I'll fight you teeth and nail. Because I'll never admit to something I didn't do. But if I did it, if you was like, hey, I got called in one time 100 years ago, and it's like, I was dealing with somebody. I was actually a bailiff at the time. I was being punished from telling somebody else something. They made me go bailiff for about a year. This girl or something come by, her boyfriend come by, and I had seen him at the gym and stuff before, and she said something, I looked, and I don't remember exactly what was said, but I looked at her and I said, I don't know why you acting like that. I saw you. She must have said something about working out or something like that, because I used to be a gym rat, and I said something. I said, well, your boyfriend's a big steroid head. That's all he is like that. I'm in full uniform. And of course, she went and told him, and they go complain on me. And they called me in. It's like, well, what'd you say? I said, I told her friend was a big steroid head. They're like, can't say that. And I'm like, well, I said it. That's a quote. Well, you have to get a day suspension on that one. I'm like, okay, whatever. I said it. And actually, on that one's kind of funny because I was supposed to get suspended for a day, and they never told me what day to be suspended, so I never did take that suspension day.
That's right.
I know I never did. Because the administration was getting suspended one other time early in my career. It was from wrecking a car. I was getting 2 days. We worked shift work, of course, so I asked if I could be suspended on the following up Wednesday and Thursday so I could have the whole entire week off like a vacation. And the chief operations threw me out of his office. and told me I would get a phone call, let me know when I would be suspended. I could not pick my suspension days. So I was just trying to work it out, I mean, if I was going to, yeah, but no, just never, don't lie. Don't lie. I mean, I actually have thought about it. I'm glad you said that because I had thought about it. I'm going to write myself a note because I'm old. Have you heard about the Brady list they have? All these different agencies, they call them. All right. Well, we won't get totally into it because I want to do an episode just talking about it. It's not going to be a funny episode. It'll actually be a serious one, which those are far and in between with me. But if you do not want to get put on a Brady list, what a Brady list basically is if you're in law enforcement, we have to testify and stuff like that. If you've been found to lie, if you've lied on a report, if you lied on anything else like that, and you lied, and you get, especially with law enforcement, lied on an arrest. Let's say you write a report, leave something out of it, or you add something, or this and that. Anything, you do not lie. You get put on a Brady list, and these district attorneys have it, and basically, you're shit to testify now. Nothing you say from that point forward is credible on the stand. Nothing. So basically, if I arrest somebody, I mean, it basically nullifies you from being able to do your job completely. And I don't know if you can get off of a Brady list or how. I mean, I'm going to do some research on it. The reason this is I'm not saying I know somebody who's still in law enforcement who we just found out is on a Brady list, but he was applying at some other places, even though he's with another agency. He had no clue he was on his Brady list. So he's working on talking with people, trying to see if you can even get off of it or whatever. So that's why I want to do an episode on the Brady list. But you don't want to get put on the Brady list.
Right.
And I tell anybody, even civilian people, I don't care how rich you are, how poor you are, or anything else like that. Men and women, most of, I say man. A man, to me, you only have a couple things in this world. And two of the most important things you have is your word and your integrity.
That's right.
To me, once if I can't trust somebody's word and you don't have no integrity, I don't care if you like Elon Musk and the richest person in the world. To me, you ain't shit. If you have no integrity and stuff left, you're just no. So, like I said, all that other stuff, race, creed, color, religion, money, and everything, your word and your integrity is all you got. I don't know
That's it. A man's only as good as his word.
If I was just rambling, but
that's all good.
Tell the truth. The box. Y'all seen the box or heard him? If y'all watch, I FTO'd him. He's always picking. I almost got him killed. Which I mean, I possibly could have, like, according to state police, I could have killed the whole entire town. But he says, I mean, it was only like a 4 or 5 mile radius, but. Anyway, he's like, you almost got me killed. Well, I almost got a whole bunch of people killed. You're still here. We survived it. It's all good. Get over it. So, I mean, but I FTO'd him. There's a guy, the Highlander. Me and him have talked recently. He's really busy. He's a lieutenant where he's at. He's getting ready to retire from a state agency. He's a lieutenant. I FTO'd him when he first started. Me and him were actually roommates for a while. He's a good guy. There's another guy I FTO'd through his rookie time. He's now the warden at a jail as a major. He runs the whole thing. It's kind of funny. All these people I trained are like way higher ranks than me. It's like I was a sergeant. I mean, I was offered lieutenant spots twice and passed it up because it took me out of motorcycles. But and if I stayed at my old agency, I'd probably be a lieutenant right now. But I train people like, that are like, majors and captains and lieutenants. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I must have done something right?
Yeah, that's right.
I just got a mouth.
You're a good training officer.
But yeah, my mouth has always kept me in hot water.
Well, if there's one thing I've learned in life, it's this. Like I said before, man is only as good as his word. And two, you're probably going to get in trouble regardless. But you'll get in a lot less trouble for telling the truth than you will for telling a lie.
Oh yeah, people might get mad, you might hurt somebody's feelings, but you tell a lie, you got to tell another lie to cover up for that lie and lies.
That's right.
On top of lies, I don't have to defend the truth. The truth is what it is. So.
Exactly. Tell me a lesson or something you learned or an event that changed you as a police officer.
There's a lot of those. It's changed me as a cop or a person.
Change the way you do police work. You got one of those?
Oh, well, I'll tell you what changed the way we do police work was the damn cell phone cameras. I changed a lot of shit there. I had to learn how us older guys, before they had all this technology, with policing was a whole lot different back in the day. I'm not saying we were running around just violating people's constitutional rights. It was just a different way of policing. But the bad guys were different also back then. So that's a whole different story. But changed me the way I do policing. I've had some life experiences in my personal life that changed the way I did policing. The way, people suffering with mental illness and drugs and stuff like that. I mean, I'm still real hard on people on drugs and stuff like that, but I have a different understanding on how somebody can be addicted. And no, it was not me who was addicted, but I've had, like I said, personal stuff in my life deal with it. And I guess it changed the way I treated probably some, not all. It depends on the person and how they're acting on people suffering from addiction and stuff like that. Probably.
Gotcha.
That's probably it. I think it's why I think the older I get as a person helps me in law enforcement, because I have more life experiences. And I don't know about any other people in law enforcement. I mean, I've used a lot of my own life experiences on the job, especially dealing with mental illness people or people high on drugs and stuff like that. If you're able to pull out from your own life experiences, I think you're more genuine when you're talking to them, because people can tell if you're just bullshitting them,
Sure. This next one's a two-parter. What's the best excuse you've ever heard to get out of a ticket? And has anyone you've ever arrested made you laugh?
Oh, there's plenty that made me laugh being arrested. I mean, some people are just really nice when you arrest them. They're just funny. Just like when I've had people tell me thank you for giving them a ticket. And I'm like, well, they're just so nice. I don't arrest a lot of people because I'm a motor cop. Most, traffic guys don't arrest a lot of people. Most people I did, the road guys would take them because they had warrants or something like that. So I probably haven't arrested, but like physically arrested like maybe 3 people in the last 5 years, me personally. Now, I pull people over with warrants. They hear them, the road guys like, I'll come take care of it because it's a stat for them. And they know I can't transport. So they just grab it and go do the paperwork. So I can't remember any personal individual that just, made me just laugh funny. That I
my safe word's pineapple.
No. I remember I was assisting this guy arresting a mentally ill female, and she was like probably about 95 pounds. And don't think just because a female only weighs 95 pounds, they ain't squirrely as shit, especially when they fucking batty as a bat cave too. Well, for some reason she thought, I guess in her mind, she thought I was the devil and he was an angel.
Oh, that's right.
And I talked about it before. Yeah, boy, she just did not like me. I'm the devil. You're the devil. And I've arrested Jesus' wife. Of course, what she said. And Jesus made her dress like a slut. So just stuff like that. I mean, some of the stuff, is actually, it makes you laugh that it shouldn't even be funny. But it's just, you just can't.
I don't recall that verse in the Bible. Thou shalt dress like a harlot. I don't recall that one.
No, Jesus told her that. That's what, yeah.
Oh, Jesus told her?
Yeah, wow. She was married to Jesus, and I'm not. I don't think.
Were those some of the red words? I don't believe those words were red.
Yeah. No, that was before she decided to take her like 6-inch spike heels, and she like cow kicked me right in my shin think I had motor boots on. It still hurt, but she actually dented my motor boots with them damn heels. I don't know if I ever talked about that one. That was funny, but yeah, she was plumb nuts.
I think you may have answered this one before, and I actually thought about the cell phone issue when I was writing this question. But with all the changes being made in law enforcement, is there anything that you wish that you could change or revert back to in policing?
I don't know if I answered that one too. Revert back to.
Is there something that they changed that you guys are like, this is never going to work? And sure enough, it didn't, but it worked before if y'all did it a different way.
I had to think on that one for a minute. Just so much stuff has changed. I know. I'm glad they got more training now, even though it's a pain in the ass. May bitch about them. I just had to go through taser recertification recently. Yesterday. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. The only stuff I say changed was, I don't know. You got to watch your language more. I think the way you talk to some people because, you're on camera and all that stuff. Everybody's videoing. I don't know. It goes from department to department. I mean, I used to work for a department where if you had tattoos on showing, you had to have them. You had to cover them. You couldn't have any tattoos showing them. To one now, I mean, the department I work for now, you can have a full sleeve as long as you don't have nothing sexually or racist or anything on your body.
Correct. Nothing explicit.
Yeah, the other department don't even facial hair. You have a mustache. The one I work for now, you can't have a full beard year round, but you can have like a goatee. It's just, it goes by department. I wish there was, go back to less paperwork. That would probably be my main thing. There's so much, all these, I never really watched it because to me it was like watching work, but like live PD and cops and all that stuff, all them supposedly true crime, real life shit they have. They show the cops out there doing this and doing that and working this crash and arresting all these people, but they never show you the hours that they spend after that writing reports. Getting
writer's cramp at the end of your shift.
Well, you're typing now, but just the paperwork, the amount of paperwork is stupid. Yeah. I mean, just when I work a 2-car crash, I mean, you're looking at, it's like 4 or 5 pages just for 2 cars.
Sure.
The amount of paperwork. And when I first started, a 2-car crash was 1 piece of paper front and back. But they want all this other information now for all these stats and all this other stuff. I just wish the paperwork was just a little bit less. So you could concentrate probably more on actually policing. Or it could go back to when administrations, not speaking of mine, okay, I got to say one thing, man, I'm not kissing his ass. The department I work for and my administration people are great. I've worked for different, like I said, all kind of different people. These people are great. I wish it would go back to where a lot of administration would have their people's back, their officers' backs a lot more. Because personally, you see all this crap on the news, crime's running rampant, especially in these big cities and all that stuff. The reason is because the police are kind of being like firemen now. Nothing against firemen, but what do firemen do? Besides wash the truck and cook chili and play PlayStation. They're doing that because they sit at their station and they wait to get called, usually to a fire or some type of medical emergency, right?
Correct.
Firemen are not out patrolling looking for shit.
That's right.
Well, that's what police work's turning into, unfortunately. Police are finding a tree or a parking lot and they're meeting up and they're hanging out and they're sitting there waiting for the radio to crack and call their number so they can go to the next, get called to a call. Policing is turning into report taking and it's turning into be, it's being how did I put it before? It's you're just being reactive and not proactive. They're just reacting.
Correct.
They're just reacting to the call that they get. Like, Joe Blow called and him and his wife are, having a civil matter because she's 10 minutes late dropping the kid off or whatever and all this stuff like that. It's turning into that. That's the problem with police work now. And that's because administrations don't have your back. You don't want to go out there and start busting your ass doing Terry stops and doing all this stuff, looking for crime, trying to prevent crime. Because if shit pops off, next thing you know, the bad guy's either, he's either going to be a millionaire, his family's going to be a millionaire, and they want to lock you up in jail.
Right. That's a bit backwards.
So,
what's your favorite on-duty or off-duty weapon? What you got?
Everybody laughs when I say this. My favorite weapon I was ever issued on duty, and it is a freaking boat anchor. It is so heavy, but it was like the best shooting gun I had. I like shooting. It was we used to be issued a Beretta 9mm back in the day, and I loved my Beretta. I mean, I still like that gun. Everybody's like, what? I mean, yeah, it was heavy. I mean, it's a boat anchor. It's heavy as all get out compared to a Glock. But for me, it was a reliable gun. It never gave me no crap. I shot it great. I mean, my scores were always way up there and everything else. And
it's heavy. Beretta. It's not going to move as much.
No, and if it does break, I can knock you out with it.
Correct.
Heavy. Well, we'll get into another story another time, probably when I'm off about or it can be used as a choking device.
Almost as a hammer also.
Some guys, I know some guys carry, I know some guys that carry their duty weapons off duty. It's just so bulky, it's too big. Some carry compacts. I have two. I got a little 22, like 5-shot revolver, almost like a Derringer. It's real little. People laugh at it like that. A real gun? It's like, fuck around and find out. Actually, I don't even know what brand this is. This is like a little 380. You see it right here. I just took it out of my pocket. It's got the belt clip and stuff on it, so I just stick it in my front pocket like that. It just looks like a knife, basically. Yep. I'm not shooting nobody far. It's got the little laser dot on it and shit. Automatic. That's usually what I have in my pocket when I'm not working. I mean, so it's not bulky. It fits in my pocket and nobody really notices it.
Gotcha. Do you have any reputable charities or events that the general public can support, or anything we can do to show support for law enforcement, especially local law enforcement? There's a lot of the officers that I've met around here. I try to ask them, like, hey, what are some things we can do to show support? And their answer is simple, but I get it. They're like, don't break the law. Like, that's plain and simple. Just be a normal citizen and don't ruin my day.
Yeah, I mean, that's just basic. The charities, now, my agency is a part with a lot of other agencies. We have the Gulf Coast Police Championship motorcycle competition. We're one of the bigger ones in the United States. We're pretty popular because our first place, our Mr. Rodeo, and our top prizes. I mean, for Mr. Hugh and Mr. Rodeo out here, it's probably equivalent to about $10,000 to $15,000 worth of stuff they give you. Guns.
Wow.
And so we're a pretty big rodeo. We'll get 160 to 180 motorcycles from all over the country come down. We have sometimes guys from Canada. And we raise all our money to go to Dream Day, which is part of St. Jude.
Okay.
So I think over the last 15 or 20 years, I think with the motorcycle competition, I think we've raised probably close to $1 million to give to them over the years.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, anything with St. Jude itself, I mean, to me, I don't know about a whole bunch of other ones, but I know for a fact all their money actually goes to that. They're not paying, they're not paying celebrities to do commercials for them on TV and shit like that. All the money, 100% of the money goes to St. Jude. So yeah, that's why I'd support St. Jude, because some of these other ones, when you got a CEO working for the nonprofit that's making, $1 million a year, no.
Yeah.
or buying large mansions with some other ones. I won't. Did I say that?
Or a second yacht. Yeah. This next question actually came up because of a real life event that I witnessed last year, as a matter of fact. And I really wanted to do something, but didn't know how to do it without possibly endangering myself or freaking out the officer that was in need of help. So I witnessed an event in which a cop needed help restraining someone that they were trying to arrest. Basically, it was a traffic stop. They were standing at the front of the bad guy's vehicle. It was nighttime, and the cop was patting him down, found something, pulled it out, put it on the hood, went to cuff him up, and as soon as he tried to hook him up, the guy took off running. A fight ensued. He turned around, swung at the cop, and then next thing I know, they're on the ground in the middle of the road trying to fight it out. Luckily, backup was right behind him. Before I could even get my truck stopped and parked, the other officer tackled the guy to the ground, and it was on. And they did get him hooked up. But I thought about that all the way home. If I'm ever in a situation where that happens again, is there anything I can do to help the officer, especially if backup's not around? How should I approach it without coming off as a threat, and what can I do, if anything, to assist without being in the way?
Well, if the cop at that point, he probably already knows how many people are in the car, or who's in the car, or if he's by himself. And me personally, if I'm in a fight that bad, I'm on the ground, if some civilian runs up and says, "I'm here to help you," I'm pretty sure he's not hollering at the bad guy, Yeah. I would just verbalize, "Hey, I'm here to help you," or whatever, and then help him, If he's fighting that hard, he's not going to pull a gun out and shoot you because he's fighting this guy. So, but I just run up, "Hey, I'm here to help you," or whatever like that, and help him that way. Just let him know you're coming to help him, So,
yeah, gotcha.
That's what I would do. I mean, because I don't know any cop that's going to say, "Oh, I sure wish that civilian wouldn't have saved my ass from getting my ass beat," or something like that. So, but no, I mean, if you just let us know you're there, that you're coming or whatever, and once, I guess once they do get them just restrained or whatever, just step back and just stay until they say, "Okay, thanks," or whatever. You can go or whatever like that. No, but just verbalize. Just don't just run up and tackle somebody or whatever. Just let them know you're coming or coming to help them in some way.
Gotcha.
Because, like I said, if I'm fighting that hard,
I tend to be a bull in a china shop a lot of times, and that was my plan, because the guy had his back to me and was standing up, and if I had time, that was it. I was gonna just tackle the guy, and I'm almost 300 pounds. I was just gonna lay on top of him. He wasn't gonna go nowhere.
Yeah. Well, I'm fully clothed in uniform. I have lost like 12 pounds, but still, I mean, when I'm just fully clothed, I dress out. I'm dressing out like a deer. I dress out about like Wade the other day. I was just curious. I was just like 298 or something like that. So, and I'm not super tall. I mean, I'm like 6 foot, so it's like I'm like some big giant. But
yeah,
so I couldn't be working over there in Texas. My waistline might be a little too big around.
Yeah, you're not up to model status.
No, I'm definitely not a model. I guess I don't know. I could be a BBW model.
Yeah, that's right.
Or
they make good money on is that OnlyFans
or BBM. Look, I don't like to look at myself naked. I'm sure people would probably pay me to put my clothes back on.
There's girls making $10,000 a week selling pictures of their feet. I mean,
well, I got that one girl
you can sell pictures of her hands.
That sells.
Roy would pay you good money for that.
Roy would pay me money from pictures of my hands whenever he's not in Facebook jail. That dude there. Yeah, I mean, they got that girl on somewhere. I mean, she was selling her farts in a jar. I mean, what kind of sick bastard wants to buy some girl's farts?
She actually got sick from doing that. There was a story they did on her where she had shared her diet and was eating so much fiber that she actually, she went to the hospital for it.
But I mean, who who pays money for that? We're on the wrong podcast, but
Some sad, desperate people.
That's some poor, sad dude that that's got some weird fish sitting there by himself in a dark room with a bottle of lotion
and a glass jar.
And a glass jar that smells like shit. Whacking off like, oh yes, it's so shitty. I mean, God,
if he just got a job at the water treatment plant, he'd be in heaven.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I think he'll be like a janitor somewhere. And it's like, oh, I'll clean the women's bathroom. He's in there licking the toilet seats or something like that.
Oh yeah.
See, my mind's going.
Working overtime, baby.
Ugh, this is gross.
I got a few more questions for you. The last are going to be pretty quick, but I got one more about policing here I wanted to ask. So it seems like stories that we talk about on Wednesday nights, police in the news, and not just on your podcast, but also Things Police See podcast, the Police Applicant podcast, and then there's one that they do together, Police in the News. You hear constantly about cops that they don't seem to get either enough training or the quality of training that they should. And I've wondered, and I realized that a cop, there are some departments that offer better training than others, right? At least that's what I've heard, because the training for each department is different. Like here where I live, it's 7 weeks. 7 weeks you're in and out, and you're out policing. Some it's 14 weeks. Some it's longer. So do you think we should have not a national police, don't misunderstand what I'm asking you, but a standard national police training that as a country, this is how we police, and then each department may have their own rules, but like, should all cops be trained the exact same?
No, I don't think so. My reason for that is we're not going to police. I'm not saying we're just training. They're going to teach cops in California a whole different way than they're going to teach cops down south. Because I mean, just the regions are so much different. Hell, in California, you got so many stupid laws over there, and then you just. I mean, I think what they don't understand, a lot of the training is generalized. You're going to have everybody's going to have basically the same taser training. Everybody's going to say if this basically the same chemical weapons training. They're going to have the same impact weapons with ASP or whatever they're carrying. They're going to have basically the same. When I went through academy, I got certified on the ASP and that PR-24, that nightstick looking thing. I never carried one. I never carried an ASP. And I did that for my freedom and just people's safety, because I knew back then I had I didn't just go out and attack people, but I had hot head. And I didn't.
You had a 3-foot flashlight you carried.
Yeah, I did. But I didn't want to. I didn't want to have an extra stick that I could hit people with. So, but I was certified on that. So everybody, I mean, and I guarantee you the cops up in California are probably doing the same training for that stuff. They probably go through the same defensive tactics or SSFG or whatever it is. But they're going to do the same a lot of hand-to-hand stuff, basic training. The problem is, it's like the defensive tactics. I think we got to have what? Was it 8 hours or 10 hours of defensive tactics every year? We have to in Louisiana by post standard, because we have to have so much training every year. I don't know about other states. I'm sure it's the same, but over here, to be able to keep my post up, I have to have so many hours of training every year, including firearms, defensive tactics. And we got to have, other stuff. There'll be domestic violence or some other, but we have to have so many hours of training every year. So I don't think it would be like that standardized testing they do for kids and stuff. I don't agree with that, because you got kids across the country they're just totally different. I don't know how much you've traveled. I mean, you take a Louisiana boy like me, which I've been to California when I was in boot camp. But you take somebody like me, and I go to California or places like that, or New York, or in big cities. I mean, I'm like a fish out of water, you know. Mm-hmm. And I know, I'll say this, I know a lot of them big city cops and stuff like that. They talk shit about cops like me, like old country cop or whatever. I'm like, it's all good, you know. Got a big city cop, but you know what? Like Chicago cops, you watch videos, New York, all these big city cops. When shit happens, you watch these videos. Next thing you know, 45 seconds to a minute later, there's 20 cops there.
Yeah.
Okay. When I'm out writing tickets, like I said, they can talk all their shit they want. When I'm out writing tickets and pulling cars over there that I don't know who or what's in it, if my shit goes bad, my backup, if I'm lucky, is 10 minutes away on a good day. My backup could be
9.5 minutes too long.
My backup could be way longer than that, depending on where I'm at. If I'm the area I'm working at, if I'm working on the eastbound side, my backup is that be them running as fast as their vehicle could go with no traffic at 100 plus miles an hour would probably still be 15, 20 minutes out in ideal situation. So you're looking in one direction I'm working because they got to do a big loop. There's no way to cross over because it's all water.
Correct.
So me, like I said, big city cops, you know, got respect for y'all. I mean, I know y'all's job's hard. You don't have to deal with a bunch of shit, but y'all also have backup around the corner all the time. We don't. We have to handle our own shit. And I've had to before. So policing's different everywhere. You can't say, that's why I said the training can't be the same.
You know, big city cops are also like having, you know, big bad dogs, but they've removed all their teeth. Ain't nobody scared of them no more.
They actually took the teeth out the dogs.
Yeah, got rubber teeth. Well, rap whistles.
No, I got my rap whistle right here. You know where that come from, right? It's supposed to be a rape whistle, but I sent them a text and I misspelled it and spelled rap instead of rape. So I
thought they flagged you for saying the R word on Facebook.
No, we have a group text, all four of us together, and and I was sent something out and I misspelled rape and I put rap. So now they call it the rap whistle. Is where that's them picking on me all the time. So, but we all go back and forth. It's fun. That's why Freebird's got nipple coverings. So we go back and forth with each other. But that's where that came from. No, it wasn't because of YouTube or Facebook. It's because I misspelled it. I'll be telling y'all the truth. I'm a horrible speller. Thank God for spell checks. One of the most phenomenal things for me in the world because I suck at spelling. I always have. I was not hooked on phonics. I was not. So yeah, but no national. I just don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I don't think that national police is a good idea. In fact, that's
I don't think that sounds like the Gestapo to me. We already have that. It's called
Correct.
We already have national police. It's called the FBI in the U.S. Marshal Service. We already have it. So
yeah. I just didn't know if maybe every cop in every city is trained the same for the same amount of weeks, so on and so forth.
Well, it's not going to be the same. Like I said, Holstera lives in Florida. Where he lives at, I'm not saying the whole state's like this, where he's at, the sheriff's office don't even respond to crashes or write crashes. The state police writes all the crashes. Out where I'm at, the state police, if they have, they're shorthanded, I'll get them, but if they have somebody, they may send somebody to a state highway to work the crash. And where I'm at, 99% of the time, we work those too. It's a sheriff's office. I've seen some of these other places where the sheriff's office aren't, is just like the sheriff's office aren't as powerful as, over here, the sheriff, the only people that outrate the sheriff's office is the state police over here, the sheriff is the ultimate authority in their parish or county, as y'all would have. So it's just, it's so different from, like I said, you just, you come around here, you can go from where I live at, everybody says I sound like I got a country accent, which I don't hear. I don't hear it at all. To where I work at, which is just 40 miles away. And the people I work with that live in that area have a totally different accent than what I have just 40 miles away. They have bayou accents down there. Just 40 miles. Now you go 40, 50 miles in the opposite direction from where I live, east from where I live, New Orleans area. New Orleans, Houma, Slidell, they have a totally different accent than what I have. I mean, so you're looking at let's say a 100 mile radius around here. That's 3 different accents right there. Mm-hmm. So just imagine the whole country. I mean, so no, everything's too much different. I mean, it's like going to I guarantee you, if I went to, which I have no need to go, if I went to New York, that would be like going to a different world to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The Opelousas to Breaux Bridge to Slidell to Lake Charles to, they all sound a little bit different everywhere you go. All right, so these are going to be short and simple. They're going to be a little bit more lighthearted, but just some fun questions. What do you enjoy doing in your spare time? You got any hobbies?
Well, yeah, now podcasting.
Podcasting.
Believe it or not, I don't know about other people, but it takes up, like I said, I do all the graphics it didn't take up as much time when I was just doing audio. But yeah, it takes up enough time with doing all my video stuff. The midweek news, I have to find news stories. I got to read through them, make sure which one's good, which one's bad. My biggest thing, and I've said it before, is finding guests, other law enforcement, because I don't know, some of the other guys like Steve and the 10-8 guy and stuff like that, they seem like they get guests pretty good. I don't know if people are just scared of me or what, but my hardest thing is finding other guests. That's why a lot of times, and I don't like to skip Sunday, so sometimes it's just me telling some stories from the week, and they're short, but I think I got some guys lined up coming up, hopefully, and then I might have somebody lined up and something falls through and stuff like that. So the hardest thing for me is finding guests. So yeah, it does take up a lot of time, because during the week, I'm reading stories, I'm looking up stuff, I'm trying to find guests, I'm trying to keep up with I'm started being more active on social media with Facebook. I got Instagram now. I've been doing a lot more posts. So I realized, shit, I told the wife, bam, today, I was like, man, it's like I barely have enough time. It's like I'm always doing something to try to keep myself out there and active, and, so. You find the podcast is a good way for you guys to blow off some steam? I think so. I enjoy it. I've had some people say, something about Patreon and stuff like that. I understand a lot of guys do it. I didn't start doing this trying to get rich or famous.
Right.
I just wanted to make people laugh, maybe understand us a little bit more. If it happens, it would be great. Who don't want to be rich? But if it don't happen. I've been going on for 2 years now or so. And, it's fun. I've had some guys, the guy that just recently came on the last one, the bumper jumper. I had been on him for about a year. I've been on him about a year trying to get him on. Finally got him on. He come on. He's like, "Oh man, that was so fun." Now he wants to come back, and we're going to probably do another episode. But a lot of people are hesitant until they actually get here, and they kind of see what's going on. So I enjoy it. It's fun. I've got to meet. I could meet you. I've got to meet people all over the country and the world, like JoJo and stuff like that. So that's great. That would have never happened if I wouldn't have done this either. Yeah,
the unofficial Australian correspondent for the podcast.
Yes, that's our correspondent from down under.
Love it. Well, I'm glad to hear you got some more guests lined up. That's good. What's the Iceman's favorite cookie?
Oh, cookie. I don't eat a lot of cookies, but if I'm going to eat a cookie, I would like a peanut butter cookie, like the ones from Subway or something like that. I like peanut butter.
Like that.
Yeah, I like peanut butter, or peanut butter fudge, or stuff like that. Yeah, peanut butter.
Like a good snickerdoodle.
I guess it's like peanut butter flavored cookie.
I was fine as a kid until I met Little Debbie, and she introduced me to the oatmeal cream pie. That messed my whole world up.
Yeah. Do like them. Little Debbie is a bitch. She's a bitch. Yes. And I don't know how she stayed so skinny. Yeah. It's like Wendy.
Oh, yeah.
Wendy likes the square meat.
On a round bun. I never understood that.
She never got that whole square peg thing, did she?
No, she failed that in kindergarten. What's your favorite classic car, brother?
If I could have any classic car, I'd want a 68 Camaro.
Nice. Nice.
That was what I would want, yeah.
All right. Well, maybe you could sell you a couple Camels, save you up some money.
I'd like to have a Camel. I'll keep my personal car. It's paid for. I got a 06 Vet. I got a Corvette, and so it's
all right.
It's like not that hard getting. I can get out of it better than getting in it. It's like a fat man squeezed in a little tiny suit or something, but it's fun to drive, and it don't cost me nothing except for insurance every month. So everybody's like, "Why don't you get a new car?" I'm like, my car's paid for, and I think I got 47,000 miles on it. So yeah, I'm good.
Good. That's smart. That's real smart.
Yeah, I don't like bills. I mean, I
don't want to owe money to anybody.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm still up in the air on after 3 years. We'll see. Everybody's like, you ain't going nowhere at work. I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel in 3 years, because I got three left, and I can walk with 30 years. So we'll see. I know if I do that, I'm a whole lot more freer. I'll have zero restrictions on my podcasting. So,
correct. I was going to say you'll really jump up a level then.
Because somebody said, "Well, what you going to do if you retire? You just can't sit around." I said, "Well, fuck." I don't know. I might put shit out every day then. You never know. There's a lot of fucked up shit. I mean, I can't tell stories that whole time, but I can sure talk shit about all this shit in the news every damn day, and give my redneck opinion on it. So
there's no shortage of that. That's for sure.
No. Well, we actually did good on time.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate. I'm glad I got to see you too. By the way, Dan here actually knows what I look like for real now, because I turned my filter off because we're on Skype. Oh, why don't you tell us about your business before we get out of here?
So I'm the owner and operator of Burley Boards. That is Burly Boards. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook. You can go to burleyboardshop.com. Make anything from cutting boards to tables to custom butcher block countertops. You name it, you dream it, I can build it. So I'll make sawdust. I'll make sawdust for a living. That's what I tell people. Basically, make sawdust for a living and turn dust into dollars.
Why hang up? I appreciate you coming on. You got me. Yep. You got my number. You can text me now, and you got my Skype number also. I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Oh yeah,
we appreciate it. You me listen to yourself tomorrow when I put the episode out. Oh y'all,
good.
Y'all won't hear it. I don't even want to say it, but I got an escort tomorrow for extra duty, making some extra money. I may it's not a big one. We only got one float, so I might live stream it. So I don't know. We'll see. Like I did some of them other ones. But anyway, I appreciate everybody listening. If you're still here after, the hour. And like I said, like and subscribe. Come join us on Facebook. Got the private group also. You have to ask me, see if I approve you to be a member. I post extra shit in there. Try to. People have conversations. Other than that, remember to smile, because Iceman could always be behind you.